Hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Ojalá que todos estén pasando muy bien esta bonita noche. I hope everybody's having a fabulous or night. We are going YouTube Live for today. I do have to address a little bit on the Facebook page on Ruby Moreno. Ruby Moreno is going to be rebrand into a different page. We are moving in a different direction. Like I had mentioned to you all before, we are no longer going to have that Ruby Moreno page. We are rebranding it into something different. Earlier today, I had mentioned that we were going to speak about mental month awareness, which is the month of May. A lot of people have had issues with either depression, anxiety, and even drug addictions have caused people to go through mental issues. I will be honest, I am a recovered drug addict who has suffered from mental issues in the past. I have been diagnosed with severe bipolar. I do see a psychiatrist. I do take medication. I know some of our followers that we have and supporters here have had issues with a loved one, a friend, a relative, a spouse, somebody with a mental illness that has caused them to either commit suicide or gone through even long depressions and it's led to multiple things in life. So tonight's show, I decided to have it as mental month awareness for the month of May. A lot of people have been asking me, why am I doing this show? What is the purpose of the show? This purpose of the show is to inform you all, because we have a lot of people that have gone through trauma in their life. Trauma causes mental problems in people's lives. For example, myself, when I was a child, I was molested as a child. It was something that occurred for 2 years, and after that, I was never able to be myself. And I'm going to be very sincere with you. Sometimes I question if that would have never occurred in my life, would I have never been homosexual? And I'm being very transparent. Um, things like that. I don't regret my sexual preference, but it's something that has crossed my mind as I was growing up as a child to my teenage years. Um, and when I entered the stage of the drug addiction, it led to me by hurting myself in multiple ways. I cut myself. I would overdose. So many times I went to the hospital for that same reason. And I didn't want to live a life because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to value myself. And I didn't care about myself. And so I was being selfish. Honestly, it was a way of me being selfish because I had different ways to harm others, not only myself, but I was harming others. And how was I harming others? Because I was only thinking about myself, and I felt unloved, uncared for. But it was just me going through these mental issues that I had. It was me knowing the fact that I had bipolar, and I stopped the medication. I continued with the drug usage for many years. From there, in 2009, when I got out of the rehab in Mexico, I enlisted myself into the army. I went to Fort Jackson. I ended up going AWOL, something where I was not completely there. I did a lot of crazy things. When I went AWOL, I know that the sheriffs finally got a hold of me. They took me and they transported me back to San Antonio. They did an investigation there. They took me back into the mental hospital at Fort Jackson. I was in there for maybe about 2 or 3 weeks. Eventually, I was diagnosed with severe bipolar. They released me with honorable discharge. And it's something that I have learned how to dealt with in my personal life. And my life has been like a roller coaster. Right now, at this point in life, I have learned that I'm very stable as an individual. Back then, I would go through these crazy episodes in my life where, like, I would cut myself. I would, sniff the drug to escape reality because of my mental issues. I had so many issues in life that it was just a bunch of cluster. And I have Connie here that's going to help me read some of the comments because I can't see. The comments are real real small. Do you have people have questions, Connie, or people? What are they saying, Connie?
No, they're just saying, Danny Galvan says here, I am a recovering drug addict and I also was molested as a child from the ages of 5 to 7. I've had lots of mental issues.
And it's hard to overcome them. Even if you grow out of those stages, like myself, I grew out of that stage in my life. And I learned that my past has become a living testimony to help others, other people that are going through the same situation as I am, other people that are suffering from a drug addiction, other people that are suffering from mental issues. I've learned that by sharing my story, either we're making an impact in people's life or we're saving a life. People will always come into assumption that you are still utilizing drugs or try to shame you as an individual, but you got to be truthful to yourself regardless of what other people say. Do not allow people to break you down. When people criticize me on other platforms, they don't break me down, and I'm going to be honest, I hit rock bottom 2 years ago. When I hit rock bottom, what I mean with that is, I was lost. And the aspect of that I was lost is that I tried multiple drugs in my life. At that point, I wasn't getting that high that I was expecting. That high where like, oh, I have it. It's in me. I had hit depression at that point in my life, and so it came to my mind to killing myself because I just couldn't find the way out. So in other words, these drugs were causing more instability in myself. So it led to more problems at home. It led for a lot of people closing the doors on me, and it led to more depression and more anxiety. I do take medication for depression. I do take medication for anxiety, and I take medication for bipolar because that's the only way I could keep myself stable as an individual. I do see a psychiatrist. I do go to my doctor's office. So everything that I'm consuming, it is given by a psychiatrist. That doesn't mean that I expect people to feel sorry for me or feel pity for me, because I've learned how to work with what I deal with at a daily basis. At one point, during these drug usage, I would hear voices. So I remember I would go see a psychiatrist with South Texas behavior, and there they had diagnosed me with schizophrenia. And so they were giving me medication for that, but in reality, it was the drug who was making me hallucinate. And so they were continuing me diagnosed with all these mental issues. Finally, I was able to weave off the drugs and I was able to find myself. And to this day, I learned how to embrace myself, how to love myself, how to value myself without allowing people to break me as an individual or to try to criticize me and to try to judge me. It does not hurt me. It's not gonna bring me down because like I've said before, it takes a lot for somebody to try to even break me down. I have very tough skin as an individual. And I want to thank each and every one of you all for believing in me and as an individual, for caring for me, for reaching out for me, for being there for me, because I'm not only here for myself, but I'm here for all of you all. And that is the purpose of having a page. Not only is it about the comedy, the jokes and stuff, but it's about being transparent. It's about speaking about our living testimony. People sometimes go through their addictions and don't speak about it and don't accept it. And that's when I feel they relapse. And how and I'm going to give you a prime example how I see things. My past has become my living testimonies. My wounds have become scars, and it's a lot easier to share my story without being ashamed of it, without being embarrassed of it. I grew up without a father as a child. I went through the stage of being molested. I went through the stage of hearing things in my life. I went through the stage of an eating disorder. I went through the military. I ended up trying to commit suicide. I went through the addiction. So there's a lot of things that have happened to me in my life that has built me and molded me into the person that I am now.
I think Danny Galvan, he's saying that he has a really good testimony. I don't know if he wants to call in.
Danny, you could call in at 956-474-4545. The line's available. My cell phone's right here. You could go ahead and call in. The lines are available for anybody to call into the show right now. It's 956-474-4545. 4545.
They don't have to say their names. They can just call in and
You
say
could
their
call in
testimony.
anonymously, guys, and anybody could call in. Like I said, the lines are open for anybody to join in. I do want to take the time to thank Connie for helping me out, setting me up the computer. Finally, we were able to get it together. It took a while, but we were able to finally figure things out. And I want to thank you, Connie,
No
for
problem.
everything.
Of course.
You know, and again, guys, I do want to inform you all right now that we are going to rebrand the Ruby Moreno page. We are starting it from scratch to be able to get new content and build from it again, guys. So by the end of the week, we should have it. It should be up and running. So I'm looking forward for that, guys. But Danny, the lines are available. If you want to call in, great. If you can, Monday?
That's the number, right? 474-4545?
Yeah. The number is 956-474-4545. We're not going to be very long here tonight, guys, because I know Connie has to sleep early, and you know, we were trying to get this and inform you all real quick, guys. But again, guys, it's if you're having any struggles with anything of a mental issue or any hard times, speak about it. Reach out to a friend. Reach out to a loved one. Don't hold these feelings inside, because you're only hurting yourself and you're only destructing your own life. I don't know. Have you ever dealt with a person, Connie, who has gone through depression, anxiety, and stuff like that?
To be honest with you, I don't. I know, David does have a brother that has mental issues. Um, and it was hard from, when he was a young child up to his age now. I believe he's over 50 years old now. And he still has, a mind of a child, like 7-year-old. But, he's a happy person. My mother-in-law took care of him until he was in his old age, until she passed away.
And
But
it's hard to take
yeah,
care
it
of
is.
somebody who deals with a lot of mental issues.
Um,
I'm getting
Raymondville Ranger, your transparency helps people like me who struggle with my son, who knows that there is help.
wow.
So
And
your
it's hard. I
testimony's
know
good.
I have silent viewers that have reached out to me with their sons having mental issues. I know there is a silent viewer that I have had communication with her, and her story is very hard. Till this day, she struggles with, with what happened to her son. But I try to give her the encouragement by explaining to her that there's more to life. And now she's become a living testimony with her sons. Her son ended up committing suicide because of mental issues. Now her life has become a living testimony, and for her to be able to share it, what her son went through,
Mhm.
and now what she's going through, and how she can make an
And it
impact
helps
into her
others.
community,
Right.
she can help out other
Mhm.
people. And I would not mind starting a supporting group with my followers and anybody else that would like to invite, that have issues with mental issues, or that have even an addiction leads to mental issues. You don't function the same anymore. As much as you're trying to say, okay, well, I see a doctor, and I'm getting help, but if you're under the influence of cocaine, or even weed to a certain point, or heroin, you're not thinking the same. You have a chemical imbalance after you consume any of those drugs. So, like I said, guys, it's something that it's hard to overcome, but there is hope. There is more to life. And I go back that it's a relationship that I built with God. Honestly, I built a relationship with God that has helped me overcome a lot of things in life.
Right. Elisa Hernandez.
Mhm.
I don't know if she's a peacock or anything, but it's okay. She's not offending anyone. It says if a couple people are schizophrenic and their environment is unstable and full of gossip and hate, does that make their suffering from their disorder worse?
Well, it could, to a certain point. I feel that it depends on the person, on how much they intake. It all depends on how much a person intakes. For example, I'll give you an example. Right now that I have, I guess, my differences with another platform, I don't consume all that energy. What goes in that they say about me goes out another year, but I don't know how they take it amongst themselves. And that's got, again, I've seen and I've understood that she probably sits her child or her adult disabled child,
Mhm.
and she tells him this is what's going on. And I think she's only hurting him. I think she's taking it very personal to another level. I know that she's made fun of me in certain different ways, but it's not breaking me down as what they believe they are.
Right.
So yes, it could affect them depending on how the environment is around them, especially at home.
Right. Right.
So guys, I'm receiving a call, but I don't know if it's Danny or not. It is a number from.
Are you? Can you just answer us, Danny, if you're the one who's calling? Because we really don't want to be interrupted with
I have a
anything
five
negative
zero
today.
seven number, um, a Minnesota number,
Just answer yes or no if you're calling in,
and
Danny.
then a San Antonio number. So I don't know, guys. I know that they were trying
Oh, it
to.
says Brenda Lee. Danny tried to call in, so I guess yes,
Okay,
it is
let me
Danny.
see.
I tried. Doesn't ring for me.
Let me see. I think it's that one then.
Do you want to just inbox your phone number and Jaime can call you back?
Is it a Minnesota number?
No, he hasn't said anything.
Okay. I'm returning the call back.
Karina Santos. Oh, I was
Hello?
about to read your
Hello?
comment, Karina.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Let me put you on speaker. Okay. Hello? Yes.
Okay. Yes, I had a post a testimony to say, but it gets me like emotional, so I might cry.
It's
Um,
okay.
I was an addict for like 14 years. I lost my kids to it. I had CPS involved. I lost my mom. I had everybody doubting me. I was molested too at from the age of 5 to 7. I just had mental problems. I tried hurting myself, killing myself. I used to cut myself. I used to have a lot of problems growing up, and like I said, I have 10 children. I have two girls that I lost. That they passed away. So I've been through a lot. I lost my kids to CPS. They got adopted, and I always prayed for my kids. I would cry and cry myself to sleep, hoping one day that God will give me the chance to have my kids back in my life. And I stopped smoking. Like I said, I used to crack. I used to do pills. I used to do anything that was given to me. I didn't want to live. I hated it. I hated life. So one day I got pregnant once again, and I wanted my baby. I loved my kids. I loved my children to death, but I just couldn't stop eating.
Right.
So I got pregnant, and I told myself I don't want to do this no more. I don't want my kids to be adopted. I don't want my baby to go to somewhere where he doesn't know who they are.
Correct.
So I stopped. I stopped cold turkey, and I did it. I have 2 years that I've been clean off of everything.
Wow. Congratulations.
Wow.
Congratulations.
I have my husband. He's still with me. I've been with him so many years, and he never gave up on me. He never told me like,
Right.
I'm not gonna be with you for the stuff you do. And he never told me anything wrong. He was with me. He supported me. I would go to AAs. I would go to NAs. I would do everything I could just to stay clean. I moved up to Minnesota. I had my son. I beat CPS. CPS tried taking him away from me because of my past history in Texas. And I won. I won the whole court system here in Minnesota. I won, and I got my baby. I have him still, and I'm still recovering drug addict. I did it, and I'm happy to say that I haven't had any episodes on my mental health. I haven't cut myself. I haven't, been that person to cry and be like, oh my God, I want to kill myself. I want to hurt myself. I finally, out of so many years, it was 8 years that I lost my kids. My babies came back into my life.
Wow. Well, I want to congratulate you. I mean, it's very difficult.
Came up here, they told me, Mom, you changed. Mom, I love you. You're doing so good. I expected to see you, doing drugs. And I was like, no, I changed. I calmed down. I've done so much because I lost so much.
Right. And I think that's what it takes. I think
it hurt me that I tried killing myself, hurting myself, and I did it. I did it cold turkey. I never thought that I was in my drug after all those other drugs was weed. I would smoke weed all the time. But they took my chicken away from me because of marijuana. They never did it because of crack or pills or anything else that I was doing. It was always in marijuana. And I never gave it up until finally that I stopped doing the other drugs, that I stopped smoking pot.
Right. And I think it's very important that you had a supporting cast and that you realized it. I actually went through different rehabs, but I wasn't ready for it. When I changed,
Yes,
I
I
did it
have
cold
been to
turkey.
different
I
rehabs
changed
too.
because at
Sorry
the,
to cut you off. I've been to Charlie's Place in Corpus.
I went there
I've
to
been to
Charlie's
one in Rio
Detox.
Bravo. I've been one here in Minnesota. And when I was here, I actually dedicated to it. It was
Right.
a outpatient.
Right.
And I was telling my husband, because I was on CPS here because of the way I was pregnant and my past history. But
Right.
they were still monitoring me here because of the way I had my baby.
Correct.
So I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to stop. And no, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I want my baby. I want to fight this. I'm good. I'm sober. I had already stopped smoking, but I just didn't want to go to the classes.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it, let me do this. And I did it. I went, I put my heart into it. I did my homework. I did essays. Everybody was like inspired. They're like, you've done so much. You came so far. I'm like really proud of you. I've never heard a story like that.
Right.
Like so much that you've been through, you overcame all of it. And yes, I did. And I thank God for that every day of my life. I thank God that I don't have to cry myself to sleep. I don't have to use a pill. I don't have to smoke crack. I don't have to go use pot. If something gets me that is out of my control, it's out of my control. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to go and, relapse.
Right. 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 Right.
There's no reason for it to. I have my reason of living, and it's my children, it's my baby,
Right.
and I'm good with that. I'm very happy with myself where I'm at right now. So
Well,
when I hear your story and I hear you, and I'm just like, I want to call in. I want to, but I'm scared. I'm gonna cry. And I told my husband,
I
I
mean,
said,
I
let me
mean,
try to find this. It's under his Danny the one. And I told him like, I'm under you, but oh my God, I'm scared to say, and I'm scared to tell people my testimony. I'm scared. I've never told people my story.
right. And I'm going to encourage you
Addiction.
to continue to share your testimony because, like I said, you're either helping someone out or you're saving a life, regardless of what people judge you or criticize you because of what you've gone through, because of what you did. Your mistakes are your mistakes. Your open wounds have become scars, and I'm
Yes.
encouraging you to speak about it because, like I said, you're saving a life or you're helping somebody. You become an influence in people's life, and that's very important. That is a key to keep me going. I become an influence in people's life, and that's what I'm feeding off of. And I encourage you to do the same thing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for hearing me, and thank you everybody for telling me to call in. And I am the one using Danny Galvan's name. That's my husband. I
Mm.
won't say my name, but you've seen me on your
Right, I
platform
have,
on
and I
your
want to
voice.
thank you for the support, and I want to thank you for calling, and I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Good night,
Have a good night. Bye bye.
Monday.
There was one here. Let's see.
Connie's going through the comments right now, guys. But I do want to go a little bit into details, guys, that a lot of these people who have suffered mental issues or who have gone through the drug addiction life have gone through trauma in their life, have gone through either they have been molested, they have come from a dysfunctional household, they come from a single parent household, they come from a parent who's an addict or a mother who's an alcoholic, or being adopted, and that's usually what scars an individual. Now, a person will continue to grow with open wounds, even if they have the love of the mother or the father or the brothers, but those wounds continue to be open until you decide as a teenager or young adult to close those wounds before they become even worse, and as you allow these wounds to continue to bleed, you're never going to be able to heal, and those mental issues will continue. Monica.
Okay. There's one here that says, let's see. I lost it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You're awesome, Jaime. You got this. No matter what people say and how many times you have fallen, God will always lift you up and make you stronger. I think
Thank
that's
you.
very nice.
I mean, thank you, because like I said, it's something at the beginning that I was ashamed of to share, and I was embarrassed because of everything wrong that I did, but it's something that I've learned how to embrace now, and I've learned how to make it part of my life without being embarrassed of it or being ashamed of it, because it's something that I turned I turned it around, and I learned how to help others by sharing my story. And tonight, if anybody's going through an addiction or going through hard times, through mental issues, depression, anxiety, or feeling lonely, my number's 956 474 4545. You could call me at whatever time you want. You could reach out to me through a text. And this is not only for my group here, my followers, but this is also for the peacocks. Putting my differences aside, at the very end of the day, it's okay. Jaime, could you please wish my spouse Rachel Rodriguez a happy birthday today? Yes, Sandra, I will. I will right now. I will right now. At the end of the show, I promise I will sing to her happy birthday. Connie will help me sing it too.
Oh God. From behind the scenes.
From behind the scenes. But of course, if any of the peacocks are going through depression, anxiety, feeling lonely, depressed, or having a loved one or spouse who are going through an addiction, I will put my pride aside, my differences aside, because this is not about let's continue to argue with them over nonsense, but it's about saving a life, which is very important. Learning how to grow as a person, maturity, and just being you, being real with yourself without people saying, okay, well, he's trying to do this or trying. Who cares at the end of the day, guys? But I do want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight, guys. If they criticize us another platform for this show we had today, let them. Do not go over there, fight with them, tell them stuff. Do not bother with it, because at the end of the day, we're not here to change their point of view. It's never gonna work. We're not here to entertain them either. We are here to continue to grow, to be able to, send out the message. This show tonight was about reaching out to others who are suffering with mental issues slash drug addictions. So if they criticize us, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the day. You will continue to move forward. And Sandra Rodriguez, we're gonna go ahead and sing you Las Mañanitas. You ready, Connie?
Okay, I just have two
Two more comments.
Rose, she put here one day my nephew was on top of my mother's house with a glass can because the drugs had him so paranoid. And then Jade here put, and this is to the caller, I am so proud of the caller. You are a strong woman. Your words mean so much. You are not alone.
And before I sing the happy birthdays, this is something that I will tell you guys that when I was going through this addiction and these mental issues, my brothers never stopped loving me, but they showed me this tough love. And so I remember my room was right next to my mom's room. And at night, I would hear her pray. And her prayer was, el día de mañana Dios, si me recoges, recógeme con tu hijo. Because andaba dando lástima. The life that I was living, andaba dando lástima, and I was lost. And not only was I hurting myself, but I was hurting my family. So if someone's out there going through an addiction or going through hard times, reach out to a friend, reach out to a loved one, get the help before it's too late. Because not only are you killing yourself, but you're killing your loved ones. So let's sing the happy birthday, La Mañanitas. Ready?
Okay, we're gonna end it on a good note.
We're going to end it in a good note, guys. You ready? One,
Ready?
two, three. Estas son las mañanitas que cantaba Rey David. A las muchachas bonitas se las cantamos así. Despierta, muy bien despierta, mira que ya amaneció. Ya los pajarillos cantan, la luna ya se metió. Qué linda está la mañana en que vengo a saludarte. Venimos todos con gusto y placer a felicitarte. El día en que tú naciste, nacieron todas las flores, y en la piedad del bautismo cantaron los ruiseñores. Ya viene amaneciendo, Ya la luz del día nos dio. Levántate de mañana, mira que ya amaneció. Happy birthday to Sandra Rodriguez.
Happy birthday.
Guys, so I want to thank each and everybody that was here with us tonight. We have 149 people, 61 likes. I continue to share this video, guys. Share it, and let's end our day with a positive note. Any other things you would like to say, Connie?
No, I just I want to thank you guys for still following Jaime. I'm here. Following Jaime. I know they dropped his page today, but it's okay. Where you have it pending. We did dispute it, so we're gonna get it back, and don't worry, we're gonna come back stronger. And Jaime's still here, and I'm glad that you guys are all still supporting him, and that's the best thing. And I think that's what's gonna kill her the most. So let's all just end this in a good note, and let's keep supporting Jaime.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate
y'all have
it.
a good night, okay?
Good night. Hasta mañana. Dios me los bendiga a cada uno de ustedes.